and Shea Adam. I'm afraid the weather gods once again have failed to play the game, or maybe they're just toying with us and it will be bright sunshine by the end of this race. Shea Adam, it was interesting yesterday rather than riveting. We, I think, got 2.5 or 3 laps of green flag. This time it's a much easier choice for everybody. It's been declared wet, and surely everybody's got to be on Yokohama wets on the grid.
They were mandated to be on wet weather tires, John, so that was a decision from race control about an hour ago, and they also said there will be 2 formation laps instead of the 1, so the clock will start the first time by, I believe, but it's still going to be the 2 formation laps. So that's a good change that they've got for today's race. But yes, there is rain all around Montreal right now, although it's supposed to stop falling from the sky in about 20 minutes time. This, a time-certain 40-minute total race, means that it might just start drying out by the end.
As far as yesterday's racing, I'll use that term loosely, was concerned, we did get the full 40 minutes, and therefore full points were awarded, Shay, and it's still part of the championship, and we had another new winner.
We did. It was a first-time win for Yves Baltas, and he was thrilled with that accomplishment. Moved him well up in the points, by the way, now into this tight championship battle for the second position. There's only about a 11-point gap between 5 different drivers for that second position in the championship, but it's still Luke Hartog leading the way in car number 24 for Kelly Moss. He's the only 2-time winner this year. Could the trend continue today? I kind of hope so.
Let's take a look then. It is Luke Hartog back on pole position, a double pole for the man from Kelly Moss Racing in the white and green Racing for Children's number 24 car. Yves Baltas now a race winner, as she has chronicled on the outside the front row. Alex Sedgwick and Dan Clark, 2 expat Brits sharing the second row. Dan Clark with IndyCar experience, Alex Sedgwick coming back to racing in the last year or 18 months for his second go around. Then it's Vanier, Cooper, Libra, McCann, Benitez and Kaminsky in the top 10. Got to talk about the other classes as well. Leading in the Pro-Am class, pole position in the Pro-Am class, Jordan Wallace, the number 23, has Moise Aretsky alongside him on row 7, and behind them James Sofronis, and Sofronis made a pass at exactly the right moment yesterday to make the most of the safety car and subsequent long red flag period. And in the Masters category, it is Matt Holcomb in 17th position. He shares effectively what is the front row of the Masters with Chris Belomo, another Masters car, that's the 55 Mystery Machine and the 68 together. And in 3rd position in the Masters should be Kyle Washington. Ah yes, he's down in 25th position in the 32, and those guys racing, all racing for their own championship. The cars are identical. It is the Type 992 Porsche 911 GT3 Cup car. 992, the 8th iteration of the venerable Porsche 911. The new 992.2 has just been announced with hybrid drive and a full digital dash. And already, of course, people are saying, oh, it's not a proper Porsche. Oh, it's probably not a 911. Look, when you've been around Porsches long enough, you realise that every time something new comes out, people run around saying, oh, it's the end of the world. It's not. It's a very clever car, actually. And it remains to be seen how that technology will affect the Cup cars going forward. But this is the normally aspirated 4-litre flat 6, the Boxer 6. Round about 507 horsepower. Very reliable engines that they have in the back of these cars, and they are in the back of the cars, just waiting for them to roll off. And Shay, coming into this race, the second of the weekend, you mentioned how tight the championship is in actually pretty much all of the championships.
Yeah.
There's still plenty to play for. We're not even halfway through the season.
No, there's a lot left to gain. This will complete the third weekend of the year. We still have 4 more to come, so a lot can change in those remaining 4 weekends. But for Pro-Am, Marco Cironi still leading the way, 82 points over Moisey Uretsky in second. Moisey really making a great run in this championship battle. Efren Castro, I took my hat off yesterday, proverbially, to Kelly Moss for being able to repair Efren Castro's car. They had to start from the back of the grid yesterday, didn't get much of an opportunity to move forward. Efren with the exact same situation for today. Hopefully he can make up some positions though, because he sits third in points, our 2-time champion of this category. We've also got Alan Metney and newbie Kenton King tied on points for 4th, so it's a really good situation in the Pro-Am class. For Masters, well, it's been all about the Scooby Snacks, because Matt Halcomb has had a commanding lead in that, a whopping 21-point advantage over Chris Belomo in second, and then our 3-time champion, Mark Wame, he is still in third, but yesterday's race, that was a little bit of trouble for Wame, and he now has a big deficit to the lead of the field to try and reclaim that championship lead honor.
So 2 formation laps, the 40-minute countdown will begin as we come across the start-finish line for the first time of asking. Good afternoon to you all, wherever you are around the world. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, various time zones, of course. And this has become, with the live free coverage, another appointment to view race series from IMSA. It seems as though they have plenty of them on our Super Sunday that we have today, with race after race after race. And of course we'll head back to Mid-Ohio for the second of the Mazda MX-5 races, and then the 4 hours of the O'Reilly Auto Parts Michelin Pilot Challenge. That's all still to come on IMSA Radio and IMSA TV. If you're listening to us on RS2 IMSA Radio now, you can watch wherever you are in the US and Canada or further afield. Go to imsaradio.com. Top left hand side of the website is the video player. Also on IMSA's YouTube, official YouTube channel as well today. So coming down, the cars, don't be alarmed that the cars may not fall up into their grid at the moment. Very chilly and cold. The court order of Kelly Moss, Victoria, watching from the pit lane, and watching her team doing their usual sterling work in a frustrating and difficult race yesterday. So as they go across the line, the race time will have started, but we'll still be behind the lead car, the race control car, and that has just happened. So here's the grid then. It is the number 24 on these first 12 cars are all in the Pro class. So it will be number 24, Luke Hartog, who leads the way. He'll take control as they come round down the back straight the next time around. Nick Baltus, a winner yesterday for MDK Motorsport. Ryan Sedgwick in the number 98 Euro 2 for GTX Racing. Matthew Southern originally in Randall Living. Dan Clark is alongside him on row 4. Then it's Zach Vanier in the number 9 in the 88. The Beautiful Racing, Michael Cooper from Huntington, New York, and rounding up the top 10, Jimmy Libra, Michael McCann, Angel Benitez, and in 10th position the number 77, and that is the top racing car. As far as Pro-Am is concerned, Jordan Wallace and Moisey Uretsky, James Sofranis 13th, 14th and 15th. And in the Masters category, 17th is Matt Holcomb, Chris Palomo in 18th, that's the 55 in 68. And then it is Carlos de Quesada and Kyle Washington. They're on a row of 24th, and the next row back is Kyle Washington, 25th position. 32 cars. We started yesterday, and mercifully we got 32 cars back. Given the conditions, that was something of an achievement. And we're waiting to see if race control actually give us the start. It'll be around about 37, 36 and a half minutes to go by the time we come to the line. There's standing water on the circuit here on the island at the Circuit Gilles-Villeneuve, and still waiting for the call. They've just come through the Bonjour Montreal hairpin. It is grim, really grim out there. Full wet Yokohama tyres, no option for anything else, and there aren't any intermediates anyway available in this category of racing. All the wipers are going. You know it's bad when wipers are going. Racing drivers hate using wipers because it smears the windscreen, and obviously the electric power takes off that 0.001 of a horsepower, and racing drivers never want to lose horsepower. Waiting for the race control car to place the field in Luc Hartog's hands, as we are already down to 36 and a half minutes. Headlights on, even at slow speed. The spray coming off the Yokohama wet weather tyres. Luc Hartog on driver's left will be on the wrong side as he turns in from the back straight, but he'll get the two left-handers first onto the start straight and then the first kink. Beautiful 2x2 formation. Waiting for the green flag. It looks like we are going racing here. F1 support in Montreal, and again a long hold till the green flag, and we are racing at the Île Gilles-Villeneuve, Circuit Gilles-Villeneuve, excuse me, and through, well, immediately from row 2 back you cannot see anything there, and Hartog has the best vision. Looks like one of the
Dan Clark
MDK cars going wide. That's really Dan Clark, excuse me, that's gone wide there. As he goes through and he drops back into his position. He was avoiding an accident, and I don't think he got any advantage there, Shane. So he may escape a penalty. Great start from Luc Hartog, who has held on to the lead, and that is the first job done. In second position is that yellow and white number 15. Behind that, it's Sedgwick in the red and white car, then Zanfanier, Kuma. Clark's dropped back into 6th. I think that will be okay. I've held my breath, but I think everybody, Shane, has got through the first time point.
I think so too. Waiting to see well, that we got that right, confirmed on the timing screen, but that of course won't come around until the end of the first lap. Luc Hartog checking out, and Yves Baltas hanging on to second, trying to reclaim the magic that happened yesterday. Alex Sedgwick going way too deep into the hairpin, can't get that load up. He's going well around the Bonjour Montreal sign, as several cars are taking evasive action as well. I think that's Efren Castro in the back of the screen as well. Jimmy Libre, oh, somebody's off into the wall as well. Who is that? This is minor chaos, but you know what? Everyone's recovered. Can't be.
Is that Joe Dalton?
No, he's here. He's in mid-Ohio this weekend, John.
Yes, of course he is. Yeah, my apologies. So, who is that who's gone wrong?
Could it have been Carlos de Quesada?
Seemed a long way back for that. He was a little bit further up the field, if I'm honest. Let's concern ourselves with what's going on at the front. And what's going on at the front is that Luc Hartog is leading away with some distinction, I would say, at the moment. It's the fastest lapping, of course. Here's Baltas, Alex Sedgwick, Vanier, Cooper.
Spin for Jordan Wallace further back, our pole sitter in the Pro-Am category. Let's see if he can get it pointed in the right direction and going once again.
I've got Chris Palomo missing as well. Was that 68, the red and white 68 that went around into the wall at the hairpin? Super start from Luke Hartog under extreme pressure. Dan Clark, who was probably in 4th or 5th at the time, had to bail out because he just ran out of real estate. He rejoined by the Qatar Airways side and immediately lifts off and stays to the right to make sure he gained his 0 advantage. And a number of people, and these cars do have ABS. It's the only Carrera Cup in the world that has ABS. That was taken by Porsche Motorsport North America because they felt that their young drivers were coming through. Yeah, it was the 68. Yeah, Chris Palomo in the Masters class. He was right at the sharp end of the Masters class on the front row of the grid. Started in 2nd position in that category. Lost it under braking and then not quite hitting the champions wall. Coming out of the final corner, Jordan Wallace. So leaders in 2 of the classes, Shea, or at least certainly top runners in 2 of the classes, having a little bit of an issue very early on here, but we've stayed green. And as far as the classes are concerned then, that's Moise Oretsky now who leads in 11th position as off has gone the 37. Oh my goodness me, it is tough out there at the moment. And now, will we stay green? Let's hope so.
We have double yellows waving, although it looks as if we are still green according to the graphics. So, no, the safety car is out. Safety car is out.
That was Sabre Cook that had the issue. So, we've again had a couple of laps. Lomo has made it back into the pit lane in the GT Silver pink and black car. That's number 68 that made contact with the wall. Left side of the car making contact with the wall down at the hairpin. And he's made it back, but I think Sabre Cook has not. And that's why we're waiting to see. I was just going to go through the, and it's perfect now, so we've got the safety car out, there'll be no changes. So Moise Oretsky is in 11th and leads Pro-Am from Marco Cerrone in 2nd place. Marco once again quietly benefiting, picking up the points. James Sofranas in 3rd in Pro-Am. They are 16th and 17th in Masters. Where's Masters? Matt Holcomb all the way up to 15th. So he's picked his way through the carnage. Well done, Matt, in the Mystery Machine. In 2nd in the Masters is Kyle Washington. And Carlos de Quesada in the 22 is in 3rd. So again, now under control of the course car. Huge slide round the corner by Alex. Just still trying to keep some heat in the tyres. It is very wet out there at the moment, Shea.
It is.
And actually driving slowly is sometimes just as bad as trying to drive quickly because you're not clearing the water from the circuit. The aero isn't pushing the water off the screen, and neither is the limited amount of aero that you've got here, but there is some front aerodynamics and some rear aerodynamics. Neither is that pushing your car on the circuit, so it's actually quite easy to lose control of the car, particularly with the standing water.
Yes, and I think we might be under a safety car situation, not for Sabre Cook having gone for that very beautiful, almost ice skater-esque spin on the grass, but we are missing Andre Reinhard Fernandez, one of our new drivers in car number 91 from FMS. This would be an explanation as to why there was a bit of debris when they were coming through the twisty bits on the backside of the course, and yep, there's a lot of debris out there. We haven't seen anybody missing, but that is what the timing screen is reporting to us.
And our hard-working marshals and corner workers out on the circuit, and that's why it is spot on. There was some brake ducting and some cooling ducting being picked up, some quite large pieces of Porsche that we don't normally see. It's hidden away underneath the racing bodywork, and that is why we had to create that safe space for them. Rain still falling on the island here in Montreal for the second round of the weekend. Here at the Formula One support. One more Formula One support outing for these cars before the end of the season, Shea, and those 6 events have been bundled together to form a new championship in the Porsche Carrera Cup North America.
Yes, welcome to 2024, where if you would like to skip the F1 weekends, you may participate in what is called the Andile Cup. It's a championship within a championship that incorporates Sebring International Raceway, Watkins Glen, Road America, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. If you would like the full complement of races, you might also add in Miami, which we've already had, Montreal, which is where we are now, and Circuit of the Americas to wrap up the season. So a really fantastic schedule that Porsche has managed to put together this year for these competitors, running from March all the way through mid-October. And it's just enough so that if you have a real-world job or other responsibilities, well, you can justify it to the family sneaking away just for one event a month, more or less.
Take the family with, even better.
Exactly.
Yeah. Shea Adam and John Hindhaugh then, as Chris Palomo had an incident early on and hit the wall quite hard with the left front. Looks like he might have broken the steering arm there. Actually, maybe he didn't, he got it back. Very treacherous conditions out there at the moment. Jordan Wallace spinning up the rear. Yokohama's not miracle workers. The laws of physics still apply even if you have it at Yokohama wearing tyres on. Did he clip the wall? Just. Maybe with the right rear tyre. And then Sabra Cook, with a little bit of a slide, was trying to give room, I think, to Elias De La Torre.
Yep.
I don't think there was actually contact there, Shay. You've got to give some a real golf clap, possibly a little louder, to our leader, Luke Hartog, who's been driving his Porsche Calimos racing car as if it was dry, just drifting the car with great car control.
Use the force, Luke.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Yeah, he was visualising that. Fast hands, Hartog. The race control car pulls away the advantage of all-wheel drive on that car, and the safety car lights are out, so Luke has control of the field as they come back to the right-left kink, and he's very, very slow indeed. The front end of the car popping up and down as he is just letting the car tick over. Doesn't actually want to give his competitors behind him any sort of advantage. He'll put his foot down as he turns into the final corner, which is what he does now. He's confident enough to ride the curbs, get a huge slide on the way out, but he's jumped 3, 4, 5 car lengths away. Great tactical restart by Luke Hartog. He didn't accelerate and brake, he stayed at the same speed. I think he's all right with that. He just let the car drag itself along on tick over in first gear there, and you could absolutely see that by the way that the front end of the car was bouncing. There's an element of anti-stall on the Porsches that you get on the race cars as well. Contact at the back of the field. Hartog has jumped away, but at the back, Shea Adam, at turn 3, there's been a coming together.
Yeah, and I couldn't tell. don't think it was James Sofronis. I think he was far enough along. Might have been Peter Ludwig. But the good news is that he has been able to continue as the timing beam has ticked over. No, Jordan King. It must have been Jordan King because he's still showing as just having completed the lap. So let's keep an eye out for that 74 machine from MDK Motorsport if he can continue. But right now it is all about Luke Hartog, who has checked out. Yves Baltas in second, Alex Sedgwick still in third, and then Michael Cooper holds on to fourth.
Now, someone taking the shortcut but coming back on around the side. There was someone into the pit lane as well. Whether that was deliberate or not, I'm not entirely certain, but that doesn't show anybody in the pit lane at the moment, other than the Renault Fernandez car, which was damaged.
It was Jordan King in turn one, by the way. Thank you to our replay friends for giving confirmation. That is, a moment for Matt Halcomb as he had side-to-side contact, managed to hang on to it, though, and no harm, no foul. Marco Cironi, I think, was the one who went for a spin there.
Hartog by a second from Baltas and Sedgwick, who are disputing second and third position. It's only a 10th back to Michael Cooper, Zach Vanier, Angel Benitez. As I said, they went across the line, and it's Kaminsky, McCann, and then Sabre Cook back up into 9th position. That's a great recovery after being off the circuit. That's what my timing screen is telling me anyway.
My apologies, by the way. It was Ryan Yardley who went for the spin. And he has dropped down the timing screen quite a bit.
78 is in 28th position. Yeah, you were right though. Jordan King did drop down, the 74, excuse me, did drop down the field as well. So both of those cars dropping back, and it looks like Dan Clark's retired as well. I thought I saw a car coming into the pit lane on the restart, and I think that must have been Dan Clark, who was running right at the sharp end of the field. So 2 retirements. Chris Palomo with contact to the wall on the first lap going down to the hairpin. Got the car back to the pits but has gone no further. Dan Clark in the number 64 for MDK Motorsports. Dan Clark in the UK, of course Indianapolis is home now. At the front of the field, Hartog sets the fastest lap in terrible conditions here. Visibility best for the man at the front of the field, of course. 151.1 for Hartog last time around. Yves Baltas, our newest winner, just minted him yesterday as a winner. And then it's Sedgwick, Alex Sedgwick in the mostly red number 98, red, white and black car, tracking through the spray. What a good drive this is so far by Luke Hartog. And into the wall for the
Colin Kaminsky.
77, and that's Colin Kaminsky in the Apex Capital car. That's coming out onto the front straight. Has he lost it early coming down the back straight and cannoned there? And he's right in the line of fire. Safety car, lights and flags. Yeah, he's been into the inside wall. So I think he's gone straight on at the end of the back straight, missed the chicane, and then looped it into the inside wall, driver's left. Lots of damage to the Tech Pro barrier there. So effectively he's almost gone straight on. That Tech Pro barrier is there to protect the emergency workers who sit there, and he's seriously deranged that part of the barrier. So that would look to me, Shay, that he has missed his braking point or had contact coming down into the final chicane.
Which is a very scary position to be in for a big accident, because you are at such a great rate of speed coming down that back straight. And yes, if it was something with the braking point or if there was someone else involved with it, but for Colin Kaminsky, very big hit into the Tech Pro barrier, as you rightly said, John. That will take a minute to clean up for sure, which hopefully, given that the rain is very nearly done falling, might help us get a drier end of the race. But again, my radar app keeps saying the rain is about to stop falling, and the rain hasn't yet stopped falling. So
No.
Weather gods are clearly in favor of a wet Porsche race.
Well, we've had another lap of green flag racing. So at the moment we're about where we were yesterday, and we've got just under 19 minutes to go. I suspect that we might, I'm surprised actually we didn't go through the pit lane there to avoid anybody having to come through whilst Colin's car is being, and Colin is being attended to. Even at safety car speeds, it is almost impossible to see the start of the front straight from the end of the front straight as the cars are going through. Now, we did have a red flag for the weather yesterday to allow people to change tyres. We also, first of all, need to make sure Colin is okay. That is the first priority always. And if he's going to be taking out the car, it needs to be done with care. Then we need to clear the car. Then we need to fix the barriers. And that is not the work of a moment, because there are some sections of Tech Pro barrier that need replacing before we can go back racing. You might say, why would you do that? Nobody ever would hit the barrier there, except someone just did.
Yep, and if it's happened before, it can happen again.
Yep. So Luke Hartog, Yves Baltas, then Michael Cooper, then Alex Sedgwick, Zach Vanier, Angel Benitez, Michael McCann. Sabra Cook lost a position there to Michael McCann, now in 8th position. Then De La Torre, Jimmy Lebre is your top 10. Pro-Am led by Moise Oretsky in 12th. Marco Cerroni is 2nd in Pro-Am, in 14th in the general classification. Keep an eye out for a red flag here, if you would.
Yep,
while I'm going through the positions. Behind Marco Cerroni in Pro-Am is Alan Metney in the number 99 car. Ahead of Alan Metney in a very credible 15th. Matt Holcomb will be delighted. He leads the Masters ahead of Kyle Washington in 22nd and Carlos De Quesada in 23rd position. Mark Kwame in 24th is the next Masters driver, has yet to be able to make it up. A huge impact for that number 77 Apex Capital car. And for
friends and family of Colin Kaminsky, just to let everybody know, Colin had to climb out of the car on the passenger side because the door was shut and unable to be opened on the driver's side. He has pulled himself out of the car and he is now with medical, but that was of his own accord. So that should give a little bit of a peace of mind to, I know, all of his friends and family watching at home.
Thank you, Shea. He will be examined on the midfield, the infield care centre, of course, and if we get any news before the end of the race, we will let you know. And indeed, we are now going down through the pit lane, staying in the fast lane. So I glanced away at the timing screen there, Shea. Was it as we suspected? Did he come in at unabated speed from the final corner, or had he looped it coming out the final corner?
He came in from unabated speed from the final corner and then tried to pitch it sideways, but that resulted in him going driver's side into that Tech Pro barrier. As now they are transitioning down the pit lane, so good to see that the cleanup is going on the front straight and that everybody is able to continue around the course safely.
15 minutes to go. Unfortunately, a bit of a carbon copy of yesterday's race in terms of the weather conditions and of the number of green flag laps. Really feel for the spectators gearing up for a Grand Prix Sunday. With I'm sure you've caught up with it by now, but I won't give all the details, but an extraordinary qualifying session yesterday to set the grid. Won't give any more details than that, but if you haven't watched it and you don't know, stay away from social media and go and pick it up on demand. Caught up with that in the early hours here. My goodness me. You
know, as scary of a crash as that was, the car did its job. And these cars are designed for safety and to protect the drivers, and that's exactly what happened. So as much as I don't like to see replays of crashes, I'm relieved to know that Porsche, they build a fantastic machinery, and we've just seen evidence of that right here and now.
Yeah, Colin was doing his best to miss the end of the pit lane wall, the start-finish straight wall, but with the lack of grip and the speed that was coming in there, that wasn't going to happen. What I hadn't seen is how far back that started. I suspect that started as soon as he hit the brakes on the fastest part of the circuit, and he realised he wasn't going to make it. Tried to take the run through, but at that pace he just wasn't scrubbing off any speed with the lack of grip. And well, what a great bit of cleanup that's been done already.
Fantastic.
They're now back on, yeah, after one more lap, they are using the start-finish line again. There's still a bit of dirt debris to drivers left, but that's as of nothing. My question will be now, will race control allow this to go back to green whilst that Tech Pro barrier is in that state? Surely they will have to repair that for the circuit to be safe. That is a major impact zone. As we saw, it's absolutely done its job. It's a barrier that is filled with compressible foam, and it is meant to dissipate energy when it is hit. Normally used in areas where there isn't a lot of runoff, and there's a line of last defense, if you will, against something very, very solid. Very, very solid is the pit wall, the outside pit wall.
Safety car lights are still on, but it looks as if the pace has been back down a bit, John. We might be thinking about going back to green here shortly.
Yeah, good point. I can't see them going back green without replacing that Tech Pro barrier. I was very fortunate enough to have spent many years in a series where Eduardo Freitas, who actually spent some time as race director of Formula One, Eduardo, FIA WEC race director for a very long time, and now he's involved in that. And the race director's first obligation is to safety of the competitors and of everybody working. And with that, as it stands at the moment, I cannot see that being allowed to continue, because it has taken an impact. It's a bit like if you drop your race helmet, there's only two places for your race helmet, on your head or on the floor. If you drop your race helmet, you don't use it. It's been compromised, or your motorcycle helmet. And I'm afraid to say, Shay, that I don't expect to see us getting back underway here with 10.5 minutes to go, because it would take all of that to change the 2 or 3 parts of the Tech Pro barrier and straighten up the fence. That can be done in the gap between sessions here on a very time-constricted weekend, of course, with Formula One having to hit its TV schedules.
And I've just actually had confirmation from the track to say that the wall can't be repaired, so the next time by will be white and then will be checkered.
Right, well, that is sensible. Do you know what? That is brilliantly sensible. I said yesterday, I've never understood, if you think you're not going back to green, or you come round with 55 seconds to go and you throw a white flag behind a safety car. I think that's immensely sensible from race control. Frustrating though it is for the competitors, it means that the job of getting that wall fixed can start earlier, and there's not going to be any changes. And whether we do one more lap behind the safety car or another 10 minutes, it doesn't really matter. So the wall now not being able to be repaired race control of taking the eminently sensible decision to bring these cars to a checkered flag. And once again, barely a handful of green flag laps. Now, has the cycle been broken? Luke Hartog, how many times has he won this season, Shane?
This will make number 3 for Luke, and I am doing the math because with everybody behind the safety car, nothing should change.
So a 3 race winning haul so far this season for Luke Hartog and his Kelly Moss Racing number 24. Yves Baltas, winning yesterday, will stand on a Formula 1 podium for the second time. And third on the podium will be the number 88. And 3 different teams then for Baby Bull Racing and Michael Cooper. With another win for Kelly Moss Racing. Moise Uretsky from Marco Cironi and Alan Metney in the Pro-Am. And in the Masters, Matt Holcomb will stand on the top step from Kyle Washington and Carlos de Quesada. Quick provisional points as the checkered flag comes out. Let's see that and talk him home. Again, behind the safety car. He'll drop back a little bit so the course car gets out of sight and accelerates through the line. Luke Hartog takes his 3rd of the season, and here's the provisional points in the Pro class.
In Pro, provisionally, Luke Hartog now has 130 points. In second, Michael Cooper for Baby Bull Racing on 83. In third, a tie between Zach Venier and Alex Sedgwick on 79. And after a great weekend, Yves Baltas jumps from 9th in points up to 5th on 76.
So this weekend has been a moving weekend for Yves Baltas. A win and a second. What a turnaround in his season. As far as Pro-Am is concerned, well, problems for 1 or 2 of the drivers. James Sofranas finishing well down. King and Rainer Fernandez also with issues. So it's Moise Uretsky who wins Pro-Am in 12th overall, Shay.
It is, and that makes it a tie at the head of the field as far as the championship is concerned. Again, provisionally, because I'm not able to factor in the points for fast laps, so we could have an advantage for one of these 2 drivers. But Marco Cironi and Moise Uretsky, by my math, 102 points for each of the drivers. In third is Alan Metney on 78 points, and in fourth is Efren Castro after a fight-back weekend on 74.
Last but by no means least, our Masters category, Matt Holcomb takes the victory there, more than halfway up the field, and by some margin. He was in 15th. Carl Washington and Carlos de Quesada in 22nd and 23rd. They'll make up the podium with Mark Kawami, who has been a leading light in the Masters category down through the years, picking up 4th place spot. Down mostly to Matt Holcomb, just avoiding the carnage in the opening lap or so before we went to the first neutralisation of the race. And the points there, Shea?
1 second, because I need to figure out the 6th place points for Chris Palomo. Should be, yeah, Chris Palomo will hang on to 2nd place provisionally in the points, but Matt Holcomb extends his championship lead. 138 points is his advantage now, and Mark Kwame hangs on to 3rd. He now is on 93 points. I think Palomo is going to be on 99 after this weekend.
Well, that's tighten things up a bit. Here comes the field into the pit lane. And the top 3 will be taken to the chill out room. They'll get the full F1 experience. What a fantastic opportunity. And this is why these teams and drivers support the Formula One outings. Dan Clark, car in pit lane. So Chris Palomo early, fell by the wayside early. Down towards the end of pit lane, and Parc Ferme for our first 3-time winner this season. Luke Hartog unfolds himself from the Porsche. He's quite a tall lad. I presume, Shane, we're going to get the 3 class winners rather than first, second and third overall.
Should be, yes.
The podium. Yeah.
That's what they did in Miami.
Exactly. I was thinking back to that as well.
Well, we got a shot at the beginning of this race of Victoria Thomas freezing in the paddock. I would say it was now worth it for the co-owner of Kelly Moss Road and Race. And another victory for her team this season. Luke Hartog, the first 3-time winner, which we've had 3 race weekends. He's gotten it done one a weekend. Pretty good. 4 race weekends.
Thumbs up to his supporters. Everything that you see when the Formula One drivers get out the car is what they are experiencing now. So, just under halfway through the season. Next up is Watkins Glen International with IMSA in a couple of weekends' time, supporting the sale in 6 hours of the Glen. Then it will be Road America in August, Indianapolis Motor Speedway in September, Petit Le Mans, Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta in October, and finishing off at the Circuit of the Americas, their 3rd and final support outing with FIA Formula One. Luke Hartog taking the victory in front of an appreciative, if slightly damp, crowd here at the F1 event in Montreal. Luke Hartog then unofficially taking the victory ahead of Yves Baltas. I can't imagine that anything other than something that happens in post-race tech will change that. Michael Cooper in second, Alex Sedgwick just off the box in 4th position. Matt Holcomb, the best of the Masters, actually finishing ahead of the best of the Pro-Am cars, 55 Mystery Machine, blue and yellow car. Sorry, no, he didn't. Wojciechowski finished ahead of him, didn't he? But there's Matt Holcomb in 15th position. Wojciechowski, Mark Maccheroni and Alan Metney. Matt Holcomb more than halfway up the field. Did a great job. Carl Washington, Carlos de Quesada in 2nd and 3rd, with Mark Kawame 4th. Problems for Dan Clark, Colin Kaminsky. John Getz didn't really feature either in the race. He did get round to the end of it, but John races normally better than he qualifies. Now, I'm dying to see what these 3 class winners make of seeing Colin Kaminsky going in to the wall. They've just rated Sabre Cook's pirouette, and any second now they are going to see the big accident. They are in the chill out room waiting to be called onto the podium. Now they've just seen the first angle of it, and here's the second angle.
You have to see like from the tower angle.
And they're analysing it more than we did, to be honest, Jim.
Actually, like, he got massively saved by the tech pro.
And Luke Hartog savouring from the exterior what he experienced from inside the car. And the podium awaits. Not just a Formula One podium, but a Formula One podium on a Formula One race weekend. that is something that none of these drivers will forget. Shea Adam.
It definitely is. And the bigger thing is, too, this is a podium on which legends have stood. That makes a big difference. This Montreal Grand Prix, having taken place since the late 70s, means that a lot of world champions have stood in a very similar spot to where the three drivers who won their classes, Moise Uretsky for the Pro-Am class, Luke Hartog for the Pro, and Matt Halcomb for the Masters. It's where they are about to tread.
So Kelly Moss, Baby Bull Racing, and ACI Motorsports represented. Absolutely beaming at the moment, as you'd expect everybody so to do. Out comes Moise Uretsky in the blue and white overalls. And we wait for the overall winner and the top step of the Formula One podium. I'm going to keep saying that because they're going to watch this back on the IMSA YouTube channel. Luke Hartog stands on the top step of a Formula One podium, representing himself, Racing for Children's, and of course Kelly Moss Racing. And here's the national anthem of the winning driver. It's a good job the anthems have gone digital nowadays. If that was a 45 vinyl record, they'd have worn it out by now. The Netherlands national anthem across the PA system at the Circuit Gilles-Villeneuve. And not for the first time in a Formula One race down through the recent past. Congratulations to our three winners. We will reconvene and do battle again in Porsche Carrera Cup North America when we come back to the next round, which is at Watkins Glen International. Shea and I back in the booth, and as the champagne flies, these guys can go in and enjoy Formula One. We've got more racing for you live on IMSA Radio and IMSA TV. Luke Hartog wins his third of the season. We'll see you at the next one at Watkins Glen International. Bye for now.